Good. All right, Shalom. All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone of the well. And peace, love, and salutations to you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and truth and sincerity. All right, he's got a lesson. Basically, it's called Jake Has a Short-Term Memory. Because, this is stemming from that Botham Jean case where the brother was sitting up there crying, talking about, I wish you wouldn't go to jail. And he gave this murdering Edomite a hug. And Jake has been desensitized. And when you go into the word desensitized, it basically make you less sensitive. It's basically make you sensitive to some type of atrocity that's going on. And I just got some research, man. And this pertains to Jake, because Jake is in that Queen to Heaven spirit. This is from Black Den, 3 stories of black women lynched in the United States. All right, Jake puts their woman on the pedestal, so to speak. Queen of Heaven worship. All right. So basically, this is I'm gonna just read it from the top. There were 100 documented cases of African Americans. Now, we're not African Americans, okay? Women lynched in America. 4 of the women lynched are known to be pregnant, okay? Lynching of women happened more often than most people thought, and for those who witnessed the crime, it was a horrendous act. Here are 3 unforgettable stories of black women lynched in the United States. All right, so one, Marie Scott. I'm not gonna read all of them, but you get the point, all right? And this is recent, okay? This is like 60, 70 years ago, okay? It says Marie Scott. Marie was a young 17-year-old teenager. She was raped by 2 drunk white men who barged into her home while she was getting dressed. All right? The men locked themselves in a room with her, one by one assaulted her. Her brother heard her screaming for help and kicked the door down. He killed one of her sister's assailants and then ran away from the scene. Marie Scott was jailed and a white mob went searching for her brother. When the white mob could not find Scott's brother, they grabbed her out of jail on March 31st, 1914, threw a rope over her head and hung the 17-year-old from a telephone pole in Wagner County, Oklahoma. And this is what you get with the so-called white man, okay? He has a perpetual hatred, which means a never-ending hatred for you 12 tribes. And how soon you forget? You want to sit up there and hug your oppressor. And the black woman who was part of the jury duty, all right, she wants to pardon this devil. But this history is written that the so-called white man was hanging and lynching black women, walking into your home and raping. So I got another. All right, this is Marie Turner, lynched at 8 months pregnant. It says Turner was lynched in Lowndes County, and that's in Georgia, okay? You black women out here in Atlanta, you got that prideful spirit, you got that independent spirit, okay? Back 60, 70 years ago, you was getting lynched by this goddamn white man, all right? It says Turner was lynched in Lowndes County on May 17th, 1918. Prior to her lynching, Turner's husband was arrested in connection with the shooting and killing of Hampton Smith and wounding Smith's wife. Smith was a white farmer, and Mary Turner and her husband had worked for them for years. Apparently, another so-called black man, Sidney Johnson, had grown tired of the abuse of Hampton Smith, killed him, and wounded his wife. Unable to locate Johnson after the murder of Smith, a white mob lynched 8 blacks, including Hayes and Turner, and his wife Mary. All right, the mob hung Mary by her feet and then sliced open to get to her baby. And that's what you get with this devil, man. He's a deceiver. They walk up and down the street in 2019 with that smoke in their face as if they didn't do nothing. But like I said, this history is documented. You can go to Google and type this up. All right, you can go to this website, Black Den, and look up these atrocities done by Esau Edom, man. Okay? They walking around here as if they did nothing, man. All right. It says the baby fell out of Mary onto the ground, making a whimpering sound. The mob then stomped the baby to death. Now, what kind of monster would do that? Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. Okay, that's why we're on the highways and byways, giving him his sentence of 1,000 years hardcore slavery and extermination. Okay? And you get mad because we on the street corner trying to tell you your judgment. So I got another one. How many minutes we in up?
5.
Alright, 5. Alright, Maggie Howes and Alma Howes, both women pregnant. Alright, you black women should take note, man, because the scriptures say there's nothing new under the sun. And the scriptures talking about this man has a great wrath, knowing he has a short period of time. So he's going to be doing this again. When these race riots pop off, all these racially motivated incidents pop off, they're going to do the same thing, man. It says Maggie and Alma Howes, along with 2 other young blacks, were lynched for the murder of Dr. E.L. Johnston in December 1918. Johnston was a wealthy dentist, but did not have an established business. He often traveled the community looking for people he could offer his services to. He soon returned back to Mississippi to work on his father's land, and during this time, he formed a relationship with a black woman, Maggie Howes. Maggie moved in with Johnston, and so did her sister, Alma Howes. Johnston used both women to fulfill his sexual desires, and while doing so, he impregnated both of them. And that's what the white man is using so-called black women for, man. For his gross sexual practices. Once you get it through your fucking head that this damn devil doesn't give a damn about you. But we've been here at camp for about 2 hours, and I've seen about 3 so-called interracial couples where you had a black woman and a white man. Well, keep doing that. Keep up the bad work. Keep getting with this damn devil, and you're gonna be like Maggie Howes and Alma Howes. So it says Johnson was also married and had another child with his wife. Major and Andrew Clark, brothers who worked on the land, were friends of the young black woman and tried to help the girls get away from Johnston. When Johnston turned up dead, people believed the 2 sisters and Clark's brother were guilty. The 4 were quickly found in jail. Major Clark's testicles were put between the jaws of a vise and slowly closed until he gave a confession to killing Johnson. So they put his nuts through a fucking vice to get a testimony. Okay? That goes to show you the judicial system is false here in America, man. Alright? So it says that was all the white mob needed to call for a lynching. Okay? So they would just lynch you for no reason. Alright, it says ropes were placed around the necks of 4 blacks' necks and others ends tied to a girder of a bridge. Maggie Howes was hit in the mouth with a wrench, knocking her teeth out. She was also struck across the head, but she put up a fight. She grabbed the bridge twice to break her fall before finally being killed. After her death, the white mob joked that it was hard to kill such a big woman. This was a claim by a witness that on the day of Alma Howes, burial movement of her unborn child could be seen. Johnston's parents never believed that 4 blacks killed their son. They always said it was a white, irrational man. So these are just atrocities of the so-called white man. And then I got a response from somebody in the comment section of this article. It says, it's from a woman named Linda. It says, white men are vicious, evil people, and I don't care if you're married to one, they hate black women and black men. All of this will come to an end, so white people, this is your heaven here on earth. And it's got to be a system. It says, God has something in store for you, all you Edomites will pay. All right? And that's from the article. That's from the comment sections of the article. Jake is starting to wake up. All right, you got a lot of sisters out here that know this goddamn man is the devil, man. All right? So I'm going to just end it off on 1 Thessalonians, man. And that's Jake has a short-term memory, man. You up here trying to hug your oppressor. All right, then the bench, you had the judge that was crying, which I believe is kind of it's a psyop to get Esau pardoned for his wickedness. But he's judged by the Heavenly Father, not no damn woman judge. All right, this is 2 Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. And who's been troubling us since we came here to America? From the so-called Negro to the so-called Mexican, Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. Okay? And I got one more script. Where we at, brother? As far as time.
We at 10 minutes.
All right. I'm going to end it off on this. Revelation 13, 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Now, won't we led captive by the so-called self-proclaimed white man over here to the Americas? He that killeth with the sword, in this case, these articles, lynchings, all right, unjustly deaths, unjustly murders. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And we don't. This scripture is so. We remember this scripture, man, because we're waiting for that righteous payback from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai and the world who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, his son Yahushai. Hey, so with that, we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna say Shalom.